Now at 10 is Simply Time Homestead and Carl Junction host a Christmas pop-up shop for last-minute shopping. Plus, Santa stops in Carthage for bowling and photos with local children. And we take a look at how NORAD is preparing to track Santa tomorrow night.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
RK Shows Incorporated held a gun show at the Joplin VFW. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Elise Noe. The show featured various types of guns, including AR-15s, pistols, and hunting weapons. Attendees were able to also practice shooting their guns with a simulated target practice course.
4 rules of handling firearms. Don't point them at something. They're always loaded until you check and see that they're not, and they're even loaded after you check that to ensure they're safe, and just general stuff like that.
Today's gun show wrapped up at around 6 p.m. Missouri Highway Patrol has welcomed 25 new troopers, 3 of whom are from the 4-state area. The new troopers graduated from Missouri State Highway Patrol's Law Enforcement Academy yesterday. Troopers Ryan C. Byers of Joplin, Corey W. Klotz of Nevada, and Mason K. Wilson of Seneca were among the troopers who were sworn in. The new troopers will report to duty in their assigned troops on January 8, 2024. Meteorologist Katie Fraser joins us for the first look at weather.
Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you've been having a wonderful time with your friends and family, but we have a lot to talk about tonight as rain is headed our way, and even heavy rain at that. So Christmas Eve storms, we're expecting rain throughout the entire day tomorrow. That means flooding will be a concern for the 4 states. Some wind will also be a factor, and colder weather will follow after we get through all of this rainy mess. So right now, we're not seeing much across the 4 states, but as you can see, just off to the east, we are starting to see the next line of storms moving into our region. Wichita about to get hit with this first line of storms, and by tomorrow morning, I do expect all of us to be waking up to possibly some rumbles of thunder, some heavy rain outside. It's going to be moving across our region, and then we'll have multiple rounds of rain throughout the day as well. So certainly going to be a wet one, a noisy one as well. Those rain chances really pick up after 4 o'clock tomorrow morning, so really early, lasting throughout your entire day tomorrow, even to your Christmas day. So it is going to be a rainy couple of days. Right now, our winds aren't much of a factor. I do expect them to pick up as well. I'll chime out all of these things for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Katie. Well, Santa Claus is coming to town, and officials have a plan to keep a safe watch over him. His support team includes elves, reindeer, and members of the U.S. military. Carly Schreck shares this operational briefing from a joint base in Anchorage, Alaska.
They're the eyes in the skies over Alaska.
We track and identify aircraft, any object that is within our airspace.
The Guardians of the North.
NORAD's mission is 24/7, 365. We're defending North America.
24/7, 365. It's the binational organization between the United States and Canada, known as the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD. And here at this secure, high-tech facility on J-Bear, these men and women are getting ready for the most wondrous night of the year.
It's just something that we have to look forward to every year. I know all the kids across the United States and Canada are counting on us, and really across the world to give them updates on Santa's location, and hopefully they get to bed in time and he can stop by at their house too.
They're Papa Noel's most valuable allies, leaving nothing to chance during his annual lap around the world.
Santa has been intercepted multiple times with F-15s, F-16s, F-35s, F-22s, and even the Canadian CF-18s. And whenever we do intercept him, it's always a friendly occasion.
Our NORAD fighters, fighter jets go up and typically escort Santa as he traverses through northern Canada and Alaska. And they again fly right next to him as a good wingman would, and escorting him through safely.
He's magical and mysterious. Some might even think unbelievable. To which Senior Airman Hannah Vaughn will say,
we have no reason to believe that he is not real.
While she nor Captain Connor Brown, respective members of the Air Force and Alaska Air National Guard, haven't personally seen St. Nick.
Do you know anyone in the squadron that has seen Santa?
I have heard rumors, which I'm inclined to believe. But then again, I'm always in bed early to make sure that Santa stops at my house. So.
The QR code on your screen will take you to our Santa tracker courtesy of NORAD, as well as our interactive Santa Village. Right now it features a variety of games, with a new one unlocking every day leading up until Christmas Day. You can also access the village and a tracker on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Simply Time Homestead in Carl Junction today hosted a Christmas pop-up shop. The event gave shoppers the chance to finish up Christmas shopping while also browsing some holiday treats, including cookies and cinnamon rolls.
Simply Time Homestead is the one actually providing all of the baked goods. So she does everything from homemade marshmallow and caramel and the cinnamon rolls, and we've got the hot cocoa jars and some other gifts and things like that for the holiday season.
The shop was open from 10 this morning until 2 this afternoon. Santa and Mrs. Claus stopped in Carthage today ahead of the big night to take photos at Grace Lanes. The bowling alley hosted its second annual Bowler Express for the community. It included cookies, hot chocolate, and of course, bowling. The event began at noon and wrapped up at 3 p.m.
Well, right now on the first session from noon to 1:30, we're full. We have all 14 lanes reserved for families, so we'll be pretty full here for the first hour and a half, and then after that there's some open slots, but they may fill up as we get closer to the second session.
Grace Lanes is located at 219 East 3rd Street in Carthage, Missouri. Christmas is just a couple days away, and local organizations are preparing Christmas dinners for area communities. KNEO at 91.7 FM in Neosho, Missouri will hold its annual Christmas dinner at the Neosho Municipal Auditorium at 11 a.m. on Christmas Day. In Kansas, the Wesley House in Pittsburgh is partnering with the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas to also hold a Christmas dinner at noon at the Wesley House. For more information about community Christmas dinners, check out our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, we break down the end of the year holiday travel and what to expect on the roads and in the air. Plus, new car sales are expected to rise in the new year. We'll take a look. The price of Forever stamps will go up in January. The U.S. Postal Service says Forever stamps will go from 66 cents to 68 cents on January 21st, 2024. When Forever stamps were introduced in 2007, they cost 41 cents each. This will be the 5th increase since then, but previously purchased Forever stamps can still be used after the price hike. New numbers from the Commerce Department have some hoping the days of high inflation may be nearing an end. After more than 3 years of prices increasing steadily and sometimes sharply month after month, they fell in November. Last month, for the first time since April 2020, prices fell on a monthly basis. November's personal consumption expenditures price index dropped 0.1% from the month before, bringing the annual inflation rate to 2.6%. Well, on the eve before Christmas Eve, the roads and skies are busy throughout the nation. AAA predicts 115 million Americans will travel 50 miles or more away from home this holiday season. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette breaks it down from New York.
Heavy traffic is a guarantee in many areas, with almost 104 million drivers expected to hit the road this holiday season. Some are finding an easy ride.
Been a lot of cars, but everything's going good our direction. The other way, we saw a bad dinger, but luckily it wasn't us.
Others encountered heavy snow in Washington State and Salt Lake City, Utah, and downpours in southwest Arizona. What all drivers are seeing, lower prices at the pump, down around 15 cents a gallon compared to a month ago. More than half of Americans are seeing prices under $3 a gallon.
Overall, most people are paying less for gas than they did last year.
The nation's airports are also packed.
I didn't expect so many people, but it's the holiday season, so I figured it was going to be busy regardless.
AAA predicts 39 million passengers will fly during the 2 weeks around Christmas. TSA says over 2.6 million passengers were screened just on Thursday.
Atlanta was very crowded, but they did a great job getting us through security, check-in. We were surprised that we was able to get through that quick.
It's not that bad. I'm kind of surprised. Things are going kind of smooth.
Even the Grinch isn't letting anyone steal Christmas. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Today was expected to be the busiest day on the roads this holiday season, according to AAA. Well, new car sales are expected to rise in 2024. Leading automotive data firms forecast a year-over-year increase of between 1% to 4% in new car sales. This would mark the highest rate of sales since 2019. The COVID-19 pandemic and supply chain snags that followed caused sales to slump in recent years. 2022 only saw 14 million vehicle sales, the lowest in more than a decade. Tesla is recalling more than 120,000 of its vehicles because the doors may unlock during a crash, causing it to unlatch and open, increasing the risk of injury. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the defect affects some models S, X, and X vehicles with model years 2021 through 2023. Tesla says it first became aware of the issue during a routine crash test earlier this month. However, the automaker says it is not aware of any injuries as a result of the defect. A little later, the Chiefs take on the Raiders this Christmas at Arrowhead. We'll hear from Patrick Mahomes ahead of the game in sports.
The big weekend is here. Some of us are wishing for Christmas all year long. It's finally coming tomorrow. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Right now we are clear out at Indigo Sky, not seeing anything, no weather impacts as of right now, but I could tell you that is all about to change within the next 4-5 hours. So this is what we're tracking, this line of showers and storms moving towards Wichita and Oklahoma City, and it will reach us by the early morning hours tomorrow. And you are seeing some lightning strikes out there. Thunderstorms will be expected, at least a chance, throughout the day tomorrow. We're taking a look at our severe weather risk, and fortunately we are not under a severe weather risk, but we are under a general thunderstorm risk. So what that means is, yes, we can see a couple thunderstorms out and about. We're not expecting them to be severe though. Now here's what we are expecting. Those storms can come in as soon as as soon as 5 o'clock in the morning, all the way to midnight tomorrow night. The most important impact will be flooding. That will be possible. We're not looking at tornadoes here. We're not looking at hail. We are looking at winds. They will be a bit on the breezy to gusty side tomorrow. And we are looking at heavy rain, at least pockets of heavy rain throughout the day tomorrow. Now, overnight tonight, we're not going to see too much until really tomorrow morning. This is 5 o'clock. You could see that line of storms moving into our folks out west, Yates Center, all the way through Independence and Nowata, all seeing some heavy rain or potentially heavy rain as early as 5 o'clock in the morning. Keep in mind, we can hear a couple rumbles of thunder as early as 5 o'clock throughout the entire day tomorrow. This is 8 o'clock. That line of showers proceeding through the area, and now folks in Parsons and Welch and Miami all can be seeing some of that heavy rain. It's going to continue to push throughout our area through the day tomorrow. So by lunchtime, still folks seeing heavy rain, thunderstorms possible. Of course, it's not going to be heavy rain all day long. We will get some lighter pockets of rain as well, but it is going to be a complete washout for your Christmas Eve. So if you're going to be doing any traveling, of course, a lot of folks do, visiting family and friends, it will be a dangerous day out on the roads. This is 6:30. We have another line of storms moving in across the region. Folks in Joplin seeing some heavier rain later on tomorrow night, and surely Santa is going to have a wet commute across the 4 states. Now, as we move towards Monday morning, still sprinkles are expected, definitely not as heavy as the day before. And then we can also see snow up to the northwest. It will be cold by your Christmas day, and it's going to be cold for the rest of the week. So Don't be surprised if you see some flurries out and about. Not looking at any great accumulation though as far as snow goes. Rain on the other hand, yes, we are looking at large amounts of rainfall, anywhere from 2.5 to 3 inches for some locations out to our west. Out to our east, slightly lower rainfall totals, around 1.5 inches. So flooding will be a concern for us tomorrow. So once again, if you're driving on the roads, you're going to have to take it really easy and just pay attention and leave some space between you and the car in front of you. Temperatures tomorrow aren't going to change much just because we'll have the cloud cover and the rain. It really helps to modify the temperatures, but we'll also be tracking some wind gusts as well, up to 30, possibly up to 35 miles per hour. So some locations seeing 60s tomorrow, most in the upper 50s, but that 100% chance of rain is expected all day long. Fortunately, it's just for Christmas Eve. By Christmas Day, things are going to start to calm down. It will be much colder though, and the cold temperatures stick around all week long. We'll have temperatures right around but below average as well as we make it past Christmas.
Thanks, Katie. Well, at a time when homelessness is increasing across the nation, one community is finding a tiny solution to a huge challenge. CBS's Kristen Mitchell has the story from St. Paul, Minnesota.
I was actually living in a tent down on the river.
Now, David Doran has an address and a sense of security.
It's great. I got a door I can lock.
He's one of 8 tenants living in 6 tiny homes outside Mosaic Christian Community in St. Paul, known as a sacred settlement.
It's not a stop to someplace better. They're welcomed home as long as they pay rent and follow the policies and want to be there.
For a couple $100s a month, tenants also have access to the church where there's showers, a kitchen, and living and dining rooms.
Then we try to be as low barrier as possible. We say, come as you are. Come welcome home.
After years of zoning challenges, a new state law opened the door.
We were thrilled that the legislation passed, recognizing that homes built to this standard for these purposes on religious land like this is a recognized form of housing in Minnesota.
I love the idea of kind of that minimal living.
At Mosaic, not all tenants experienced homelessness.
And I want to be able to spend time with our neighbors who often are overlooked but are amazing people who have gifts and strengths and just need a community.
Rose Larson is helping people find that community by being what's called an intentional neighbor.
Each of my neighbors just contributes so much, and that restores such a sense of value and worth. That's a distinct difference in this form of housing.
For David, it's more than a home, it's hope.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know where I'd be today without it.
New home sales plunged in November. That's according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the Census Bureau. Their joint report shows sales of newly constructed homes dropped more than 12% to 590,000 in November. That's up just 1.4% from a year ago. As for sales of existing homes, they are on pace to be at among the lowest levels in 30 years. Still ahead, the Kansas City Chiefs put in their finishing touches ahead of their Christmas Day game. And lots of other NFL action happening over the weekend. Brock Baldridge has the highlights and more up next.
The Kansas City Chiefs have had a roller coaster ride these past few months. The Chiefs only have 3 games remaining in the regular season, and now the Chiefs prepare for the Raiders on Christmas Day.
We are in a position where all these guys, we all want to do well for each other. So whether it's the wide receiver position, the quarterback position, or us as coaches, we want the best for one another. And however we get to that point, however the games go, what guys do, it's just a matter of staying positive as much as we can.
Obviously, a little disappointed that I don't get to do the Christmas morning when Santa comes with the kids. But I get that whole afternoon and evening, and so to be able to play on Christmas Day right after everybody wakes up, they get their gifts, they're going to turn the TV on, and they're going to see the Chiefs playing. It's going to be it's extremely exciting and a great opportunity. So I mean, it's going to be a great challenge for us going up against this team in this pass rush. But I think you just got to go out with the mentality of we're going to execute the game plan and let the guys win their matchups.
Well, lots of other action happening around the NFL this afternoon. There are a few games in the AFC which could be crucial for who the Chiefs would play in the first round of the playoffs. We start things with the Bengals versus the Steelers. First drive for Pittsburgh. That's former OSU Cowboy Mason Rudolph, who finds George Pickens and he gets an opening, and there he goes. No one is there to catch him. 86 yards for the touchdown. The Steelers will lead 7-0 early on in this one. So we head to the second quarter. Rudolph looking pretty good early on, only one pass and one touchdown. This time he hands it off to Calvin Austin on the jet sweep, and he scores as he hits the pylon. Steelers lead it 14-0. So in the second half, Cincinnati down 24-0. Jake Browning throws over the middle to T. Higgins, and there he goes all the way to the house, untouched. 80 yards for the touchdown. Bengals get on the board, but they still trail 24-8. Later in the third, same score here. Mason Rudolph is going to float it up to George Pickens, one-on-one coverage, and he hits him in stride. All the way for the score. All Steelers this afternoon. Pittsburgh beats Cincinnati 34-11. Another game happening tonight. The Buffalo Bills visit the Los Angeles Chargers in SoFi Stadium. The Bills have won 3 of their last 4 games, and well, tonight, closer game than they thought it was going to be. The Bills hold on to beat the Chargers 24-22, a nail-biter in this one. Buffalo picks up win number 9 on the year. Over to the NBA now. The Oklahoma City Thunder are facing, or are one of the hottest teams this season. Oklahoma City is currently in second place in the Western Conference, and they have a big matchup tonight. OKC welcomes in LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers in town. The Thunder have won 5 of their last 6 games, but tonight the Lakers brought their A game to beat the Thunder 129-120. LeBron James led all scorers with 40 points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 34 points for the Thunder. Well, that's a look for sports. We'll be back with more news after this.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Yeah.
A group of patients at a hospital in Missouri were ready for a visit from St. Nick. Santa visited babies and their families in the NICU at University of Missouri Healthcare Women's Hospital on Wednesday. The babies were dressed for the occasion in tiny Christmas pajamas. Santa read to the babies and posed for photos. Now let's check back in with Katie for a final look at the weather.
Well, Santa's certainly going to have a busy couple of days, especially as he flies on through the skies of the 4 states. He's going to have to put on his rain shield because 100% chance of rain tomorrow, lasting throughout the majority of the day in the overnight hours as well, leaving us with a rainy Christmas day. So stay warm out there and stay safe as well.
That's our time for now. Thanks for making us part of your night.